The field of eugenics grew out of research into genetics and heredity. By the early 1880s, Francis Galton had developed the idea that societies should promote the propagation of certain desirable traits. This could, for example, help eliminate certain diseases. Positive eugenics advocated encouraging procreation between those with desirable traits, while negative eugenics advocated limiting or preventing procreation between people with undesirable traits. University genetics departments were created in Western countries, many of which employed national eugenic policies in the 20th century. The Nazis seized upon these ideas as part of the basis to subjugate, persecute, or even destroy various kinds of people.
Tweeted not long ago, cultural suicide by demographic transformation must end. What does that mean?
Okay, look at Europe. They have opened up their doors. Angela Merkel said, everybody come into Germany, we'll take care of you. And I have walked in that river of the epic migration that's poured into Europe, and I've gone into the no-go zones in places like Paris and in London and in Brussels and Stockholm, for example. I see what's happening. And you've got political movements now to reclaim their sovereignty and their nationality in Europe. Think of this. If we brought, let's just say, 1 billion people from the continent of India, Indians, into America, would that change America? Would we ever become that which we are and have been, the America that I love and continue to love, or would it transform us? If we did that with 1 billion Chinese, of course it would change us. So cultural transformation, we need people that buy into the American culture, the American civilization, the American dream, and eventually we need to get the assimilation in place so that we have cultural continuity on top of that.
Couldn't Native Americans have said that? This is a country of immigrants.
You wrote that Wilders understands that culture and demographics are our destiny. We cannot restore our civilization with somebody else's babies. This is being condemned by many regions of American politics and citizenry. What did you mean?
Well, of course, I meant exactly what I said, as it always is the case, Chris. And to expand on that a little further, I've been to Europe and I've spoken on this issue, and I've said the same thing as far as 10 years ago to the German people and to any population of people that is a declining population that isn't willing to have enough babies to reproduce themselves. And I've said to them, you cannot rebuild your civilization with somebody else's babies. You've got to keep your birth rate up, and that you need to teach your children your values, and in doing so, then you can grow your population and you can strengthen your culture, you can strengthen your way of life.
Who's somebody else's babies?
Chris, we're a country here that, you know, if you take a picture of what America looks like, you can do it in a football stadium or a basketball court, and you see all kinds of different Americans there. We're pretty proud of that, the different looking Americans that are still Americans. And there's an American culture, an American civilization. It's raised within these children in these American homes. And that's one of the reasons why we require that the President of the United States be raised with an American experience.
I mean, because it seemed like you were doing the opposite. Like you were trying to say someone else's babies means you're either white or you're not right. And as you know, that is anathema to what America's all about. Can we get agreement on that?
Well, here's actually, if you go down the road a few generations or maybe centuries with the intermarriage, I'd like to see an America that's just so homogenous that we look a lot the same from that perspective.
Congressman, if you suggest that somebody else's babies shouldn't be welcome in a country, you seem inherently divisive. That's why I keep asking you, what was your intention with this? A Muslim American, an Italian American, a Christian American, a Jewish American, you do realize that they are all equal, right? They are all the same thing. We don't need babies from one of those groups more than we need them from other groups.
I'm a champion for Western civilization, and yes, our English language is a big part of it. It's a carrier of freedom. Right. Wherever the English language has gone globally, freedom